Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Hit the like button, subscribe, and become a member. It's lit over here. So listen, I wanted to come back tonight and talk a little bit about Gina. When that letter first came out, I was heated. I was mad at Gina about that letter. I just wanted Gina to be accountable. She went on Tasha K and she told us a whole story. It was a movie, how she was abused by Puff. And so then she didn't show up at court. Nobody can reach her, and then she just pops up suddenly on TMZ, and then this letter comes up, right? So I wanted her to be accountable because I feel like she lied to us, the people. I feel like she probably, allegedly, I don't know, lied to a federal officer. And I feel like she lied to a grand jury and then didn't show up. So let's talk about this. Shout out to Simone Redwine. Like, I love watching her. So she helped me understand why Gina may not have to be accountable for this. But if you guys know Martha Stewart, she brought this to our attention, like this same thing that Gina did. James Comey sent Martha Stewart to jail for 5 months for this same thing. Anyway, back to Gina. I digress. Gina, if she lied to a federal officer, she's saying that, it's possible she could get in trouble. But if she went and lied to a grand jury, that's something different, because she is under oath. When you talk to a grand jury, you're under oath. Where you talk to an officer, you just take your lawyer with you. You guys have a conversation. They may record it, whatever, but you are under oath. Raise your right hand. I swear on the Bible, whatever, that I'll tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And so if she in fact did lie under oath, then she would be in trouble if she told them something different than what she's saying now. Does that make sense? Second of all, Simone doesn't think that this is, and we said this, somebody on the live said that it may have been Harlem, but said that is this letter really written by Gina? Because we all agreed it looked like those words and the way it was set up, that it was written by maybe a lawyer or something. The letter's not notarized. The letter didn't have Gina's actual signature on it. So either a few things could have happened. We don't know. Gina could have sat down with a lawyer and they, wrote the letter. Gina's a lawyer that was in the room with her talking to a federal officer could have done it. Like, we don't know, but we are just not sure that Gina actually wrote the letter, her words. And in what she brought to my attention also is that in this letter there is some, to my knowledge, as far as I know, those kind of words that don't say, yes, I know for a fact, but says just from what I know or I speculate. So it's not holding her to the be liable, right? So she's just saying possibly, and what I know, and so far, those things, right? So that too could save her butt. Then the other thing is that, in the letter, she also said the letter is just real opinionated, just my opinion. Like we always say, allegedly, or this is just my opinion, that's what this letter is looking like. Okay, and then the last thing, I wanted to talk about, like Simone, shout out to Simone. So the last thing I wanted to talk about is her not showing up in court. I was frustrated with her because she didn't show up in court, but she comes in this letter. If whoever wrote the letter says, I'm the third victim, whatever, right? But the reason that she didn't have to come to court and she didn't have to be liable for that court, for showing up for court, is because when a prosecution is wanting to have a witness to testify for them, particularly Jane, Cassie, and Gina, you don't want your witness to be forced to testify, right? So when you're subpoenaed, the judge signed that, you're forced, you better be there or you're in contempt of court, right? But if you're not subpoenaed to be there, then you have a choice. Yes, I'll be there. They went so far as to say, listen, we will let you come under a pseudonym. You don't have to say your name or whatever, right? But Simone was saying in court, they even asked Jane, They asked Cassie, "Are you here by subpoena?" They said no. And that's because you never want to force them to make you look crazy as a prosecution. You've forced them to be there, and now they're saying they could come in there and say, "Oh, Diddy's a great guy. I don't have a clue what you're talking about." I'm like, none of that ever happened, right? And now you're looking crazy bringing a witness that's really for P. Diddy, which Jane kind of made me feel like she was swaying that way anyway. She was not forced to be there, right? So that's Gina in a nutshell. In some of her comments on her show tonight, people were saying, can Tasha K's video, can they kind of look at that and do anything about that? Not if nothing is like the letter wasn't notarized, it didn't have Gina's signature, like Gina wasn't subpoenaed. If Gina did not sit down with a grand jury, which they all did, okay, they had to sit down with a federal officer, then they go to a grand jury. I'm thinking Gina probably sat down with a grand jury before she just backed out. I don't know though. I can't say that. Just my thoughts, my opinions. I don't know. My speculation. But again, if Gina went in there to that grand jury and told them what she told us, and then now is saying something different, that could get her in trouble. That could get her some few months in federal penitentiary, which no one wants anybody to go to jail. We just want, well, did he really do something to you or not? Or were you just saying coming out like, there was pictures, I think. So I don't know. I'm trying not to be frustrated with Gina because Gina's human too, and everybody need a little grace. But you can't be doing that, Gina. You can't be doing that. What do y'all think? Let's talk about it in the chat.